Hey guys, welcome to Cricket Fanatics Magazine. This is your daily show. I'm your host Khalid Moeddin, and this is the show where we talk about all the major talking points in South African cricket. And today's show is a special one because we're going to talk about Faf du Plessis and what Faf du Plessis actually means to South African cricket and the future of South African cricket. But before we get going, of course, I just want to let you guys know 40% of you are not subscribed to the channel and are watching all the videos. So please, can you please do me a favor and just subscribe to the channel, click that notification bell for all future videos. So let's get into today's topic. It's going to be a mixed show. We're going to talk about South Africa, where they stand right now, and I'm going to play you some of Mark Boucher's press conference as well, because he said quite a few things that were interesting actually. Pretty confident and pretty straightforward, and it was very interesting for me to hear what he had to say. To the guys in the chat, if you guys want to contribute to a super chat, you can go to the $ in the bottom right hand corner, and you can obviously get your particular comment highlighted, so that I can ask it on the show. I see there's a super chat already in the comments already, and yeah, I will put that on the screen a little later, and we will talk about that when we get into everything when we're talking about Faf du Plessis. Now, as you know, South Africa is obviously in a rebuilding phase, and I think that currently we have always been in a situation. Actually, before that, we were in a situation where South Africa had a lot of experienced guys that they could build a team around. Now, when you brought a youngster in before, you would look around the dressing room and there would be a lot of experience. So it would ease a youngster into the side and give him a chance to actually showcase his talent and show what he's capable of. These days, we're not sitting with a lot of experience. I mean, only Dean Algar and Faf du Plessis is really the most experienced guys in the side. When you look at a guy like Kagiso Rabada, even though he has almost 200 wickets, he doesn't have a lot of tests under his belt. So he might be experienced with regards to the amount of wickets he's taken and how much test cricket he's seen compared to everybody else. But when you actually look at the amount of games he's played for South Africa, there's only 43 matches played there. So I wouldn't say that I would count him in with regards to the experienced guys. I mean, I think that he is in that middle range. So Kagiso will be key to taking the guys from non-experienced to experienced. So he will be able to take those guys on that journey. And actually, he's at the perfect age now in the middle ground. So a youngster doesn't feel too intimidated by him, and the older guys respect him too. So it's like in a perfect place for Kagiso to be right now, especially as well Quinton de Kock. So those are experienced guys that I'm looking at. But you can see what Faf means to that team. That massive 199 that he scored against Sri Lanka, I think that was a token of that and what he is capable of. So I really respect Faf, and I know that a lot of you guys do too. And it's crazy that we are looking now at Faf du Plessis not as the captain, because I mean, so many of us have become so familiar with him as captain. I mean, most of us know him as the captain for as long as we remember. If you dependable, obviously, on where you are in your career or when you started watching cricket, that's when you'll actually know how good Faf du Plessis actually is. Now, there is someone actually asking me for the StreamYard link to come join the show. I'm going to be sending him to it now, so don't get startled by why I'm distracted. But anyway, so what I want to talk about today, besides Faf du Plessis, of course, is what Mark Boucher said, because I think a lot of us were maybe doubting Mark Boucher's capabilities. Some of us, I'm not saying all of us, a majority of us, maybe a lot of us actually like Mark Boucher as a coach and are willing to be obviously patient with him. But there were certain things that he said in the press conference that I really think we needed to highlight. So I'm going to play you something from the press conference so that you can see what Mark Boucher said. Now, particularly about the batting, because he answered this quite sternly. Because a lot of us are talking about maybe giving opportunities to Kyle Verreynne and giving opportunities to Reinhard van Tonder and giving opportunities to some other batsmen. And Boucher actually was quite firm on his beliefs on this. So this is what Boucher had to say.
We just got 600. Why would I want to change our batting order? This is Test match cricket. don't just grab an opportunity. The guys that have gone out there and performed, deserve their spot again. So in Test match cricket, you wait for your opportunity to come. There are got a couple of very good batters waiting in our wings, and we'll keep working on them. So if they do get opportunity, that they grab that opportunity. But for now, I think everyone would agree that it's going to be very difficult for me to go swapping and changing a batting order that's, we've been through a couple of tough times of late. So we'll take the 600 and we'll try to work on that going forward. It's a big test series against Pakistan coming up and Australia as well. So it's no time to start experimenting here and there when we're on something good.
So he's happy. And a happy coach is very important. It seems like Rassie van der Dussen is the guy that they're going to play at 3. What made me think that is specifically when they said that Quinton de Kock is going to bat at 5. That's what made me realize that, wait, maybe this is where this is how they want to line up. So when I look at someone like Faf du Plessis, he's going to become more and more and more important to the side. As we can see what Mark Boucher said, when he said that, why would you want to change your batting lineup after you scored 600? So that actually proves to us that he's very happy with who he selected. Now, this also brings up questions for us, though, whether Keegan Peterson would have actually even gotten a game or not. Because if he's happy with the current batting lineup, and if you're not going to drop Rassie van der Dussen, then obviously the top 5 that they picked is South Africa's best top 5 in their eyes. So it was very interesting to hear what Mark Boucher said about that. To the guys that are commenting, thanks a lot for the comments. We got a super chat here from Zubair Abrams talking about Faf du Plessis. What is the longevity of his career? Thank you for a lot for the super chat there, Zubair. Yes, I think the longevity of his career, because Faf is a lot fitter than a lot of other people, it's awesome to be able to see that how long he can last. And I think he can play until the 2023 World Cup. And now I might be crazy and you guys might think I'm crazy, but I'm saying this because of his fitness. I think that he's so fit that he will be able to last. And I think if he focuses on specific formats, you might be able to last till then. But what I would like Faf to do is at least stay in Test cricket for another year, get the youngsters settled in, give them, pass on all of the tips that he can possibly pass on. I hope that Faf goes into coaching afterwards because I think he has temperament for it. So thanks a lot for your questions, Zubair. That means a lot. We've got another one from Ravi Reddy. Thank you for Ravi for giving us some support. Faf is looking sublime form, superb knock. It really was a superb knock. Now, Boucher also had something to say about Faf du Plessis. So I'm going to play what he said. I'm going to play his segment about what he said about Faf.
Well, I don't think it's come from me. I think it's come from you guys. The media have been putting pressure on him. I know what Faf is worth as a cricketer. I also understand that what he's done for South African cricket. He's been a great player. He went through maybe by his own accord, a bit of a dip in form. So he would have felt a bit of pressure to go out there and perform. So yes, we've got a new batting sort of order lineup, and with that you need that experience. And I think he showed it this game. He'll understand as well that that's it's something to build on. He understands it's a big series up in Pakistan. Then we come back in and play against Australia. He's in good form. He's done some very good work, over COVID times on his batting, his technical side of his game. So he looks very comfortable at the moment. For good players, there's big runs around the corner. Even if you do go through a bit of dip, I think him being where he was as a player, he really wanted to score runs. So I'm very happy for him from a personal level. But Faf du Plessis scoring runs in the South African batting lineup, and with that experience is gold dust to us. So it's nice to have him in good form and in good spirits, and hopefully, for us and for him, that continues.
So Ravi, thanks a lot for the super chat, by the way. That means a lot to me. And guys, you can see that the super chat is working. We've gotten two super chats already on the show already. If you guys want to do a super chat, you can just go to the dollar sign at the right hand corner of the live chat. So Ravi, you heard now what Faf had to say. Not Faf, what Boucher had to say about Faf. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, so happy to also contribute to Cricket Fanatics magazine. Please, guys, I encourage you all to do the same. It's the only way we'll be able to continue to produce fantastic content like what you're watching right now. Coming back to what Boucher had to say, I actually agree with him 100%. The reality is that the media has put pressure on Faf du Plessis. The fans have put pressure on Faf. Last year's Test series against England is by far one of the more forgettable series that we've seen in recent times. And unfortunately, Faf was right through the Colts. The same went in the series prior to that when we visited India. There was no sort of gusto. There was no um, sort of courageous batting from his side that we would have seen, expected to see from him. And I think the Faf du Plessis we saw yesterday and the day before, for that matter, is the Faf we've been missing for a long time. Really glad to see this Faf du Plessis back.
Yeah, it was excellent to be able to see him push. It's an unfortunate one that he lost a little bit of concentration over there. I think from his press conference, he said that because he backs himself with that shot, that's why he went for it. And the ball was there to be hit, and he tried to clear clear the man, and he didn't. So it was unfortunate for him that happened. But yeah, I think Faf has amazing longevity. Like I said again, because of his fitness levels, I think he's unbelievably fit. So because of that, I think that he'll be able to have a little longer career than some other cricketers. And in this modern day era of sport, you can see players playing for much longer. Even in football, when people's careers are actually used to be much shorter. I mean, people used to retire, start thinking about retirement at the age of 32, 33 already. They were starting to wind down in their careers. Where we see now guys like Zlatan can play until 40 almost, and look how long Cristiano Ronaldo's going on for, and Messi as well. So you can see that things have changed. Sports science has changed, and I think that with regards to Faf, he's always kept very fit. And I think that he can. I'm hoping that he stays around until the 2023 World Cup, till he's about just before 40 years old. I think that he'll be able to go until 39, 40. I think that's when we can say, Faf, thank you for your services. By that time, I think a lot of players would have been groomed. I mean, maybe someone like Reina van Tonder, who I see as a future captain as well, can maybe take over from a guy like Faf, and maybe become that player, that key player in that batting lineup. Rashi then can move down the order as he goes towards the end of his career, and then Reina can maybe be the number 3, or Zubair Hamza. There's so many youngsters that need opportunities. There's another little segment that I want to speak about as well, and that is about what he said about the Wanderers. Now I'm looking a little bit forward. Before we will do a review of the next test, obviously, guys. So you guys can tune in for that closer to the time, or probably the day before the first test. That's when we will do our preview show. So just stay tuned for that as well. But he said something about spinners. Now, a lot of us were talking about the seam bowlers, and a lot of us were talking about maybe picking a full seam attack, obviously with your all-round as well, but picking a full seam attack and not playing Keshav Maharaj maybe at the Wanderers. That was an option. But Mr. Boucher said something once again about this.
Well, I don't think it's come from me. I think it's come from you guys. The media have been.
That's the wrong
I'm
one.
not a big fan of going into a test match without a spinner. I think it's very dangerous. And as we saw during this game now with Sri Lanka, if they didn't have a spinner, I mean, they would have struggled even more. So yeah, I think it's, especially if you look at all the venues around in franchise cricket at the moment, our spinners have done really well at all the venues. So I doubt that we're going to go in without Kesh.
Thank you.
Great, thanks, Shafiq. We'll go one quick one this morning and then wrap up with one last one from Ken.
So I think that is very interesting, especially because he's saying he doesn't think he will go without someone like Kesh. He likes to go into tests with a spinner, whether we're playing in seamer-friendly wickets or not. I think to give that variation, probably Ravi, just to know that you have that guy in your arsenal that you can maybe put pressure on the other end, even if it's not taking wickets. The value of a spinner is very important. And if Boucher values the spinner so much that he doesn't want to go with a full seam attack, it's completely contrast to what Otis Gibson was doing with the Proteas a couple of years ago.
No, absolutely. So I think the first thing is that the Keshav Maharaj we're talking about is somebody who can bat significantly well lower down the order as well. So I think we must bear in mind that 2020, unlike for the majority of us, has actually been a very good year for Keshav Maharaj with the Willow. I mean, I think he knocked about 350s, two against England, one against Sri Lanka. Maybe mistaken. I like to encourage the audience to perhaps correct me there. But I think he offers so much resistance to the bat, and that's a kind of resistance we were looking for a very long time, lower down the order. That's one. And two, and I agree with you, Khalid, we need variation. We've seen what Hasaranga can do in conditions. Fair enough, he got quite a bit of stick as well, but I thought Hasaranga actually, in the grand scheme of things, played reasonably well, obviously with ball in hand, and he picked up some vital wickets there. And I think we need to go with a positive mindset, bring Keshav in and see what he can do. I think there's quite a bit of gravitation towards Buren because of what he did last year against England. You recall that in the second innings of the final test, I think Buren picked up a fifer, if I'm not mistaken. So I think there's a lot of encouragement to consider Buren for that test match specifically. But I'm with Bouch. I don't think I would go in there without Keshav Maharaj, especially considering the fact that, especially considering his exploits at the bat as of recent.
Yeah, because I mean, that gives us a lot of insight into what the next team will be. Because when he said that he's going to be sticking to that batting lineup, he's not going to change anything with the batting lineup, then we know that Quinny's going to bat at 5 from now onwards going forward. I think that's where he's going to bat. So that opens up a lot of that will open up a lot of stick with regards to that. I think I see Reginald asking here about KP. Boucher did speak about KP in his press conference, saying that he's not 100% sure if he's ready yet to be available. He hasn't joined the bio bubble. Only Bjorn Hendricks has, because Michael Pretorius picked up an injury, and he's now out of the team. He's went back to his franchise. So obviously Bjorn Hendricks has come back in, and KG. I don't think Bjorn will get a run out if they're going to stick with Kesh. The whole idea for it was, for me, was the only time we'll see 2 extra bowlers come in is if Keshav sits on the bench and doesn't play. That's the only time I feel.
Unless your man Aiden has a bowl, he gets like a nice 10 over spell there. There's some juicy steak and kidney pies there to the Sri Lankans. Let's see what they do with that.
Yeah, because I mean, like, if he's gonna go with a spinner, then obviously only one that I could see coming in is KG. KG straight in. Then you have KG, Anas, and Lungi. I don't think they'll play Luto again. Even though Luto performed really well. I don't think Luto.
Congratulations to him. I know he's a friend of the show as well. We really a great performance from him. I know there was a lot of doubts with his selection on day one, but look what he did. Brilliant stuff.
Yeah, and people don't realize what it actually means for someone to be able to perform like that. You think that he wouldn't have seen your tweets, and you think that he wouldn't have seen what people are saying about him on Instagram or on any platform, on Facebook, whatever the case may be. He would have seen all of that, and for him to still perform the way he did, come back, because the worst thing for you to happen to you when you're under the fire and you're getting a lot of criticism is to have a first spell like that. That's the worst thing that can possibly happen to you at that point.
Because I was legitimately concerned, and Mpho knows this. We've had discussions about this on Guerrilla Cricket, and I said I'm worried that they're setting Luto up for failure here, especially of what happened at Newlands in the T20 against England. Because I saw a very dejected Luto Sapabla, and I was legitimately concerned that they were going to throw him straight back into the fire. But he performed so well. So that was encouraging signs for me. I think he's got quite a resilient nature, and that's good to see from a young bowler.
Yeah. So Boucher also basically revealed that it's Test cricket. They're not going to be experimenting in Test cricket. So exactly. that actually gives us some insight, because some of us would have liked to see some experiments happen in Test cricket. So I only think they will select a debutant if they're 100% certain that he is ready. Luther Sapamla was kind of a different case because KG was out, Björn was out, Glenton was out. So the only person next in line would have been someone like Luto. So a youngster coming into the system. So I wouldn't say they were forced to, but he was in the wings because of the squad, and everybody in that squad was injured. So what do you do next? Obviously,
I
Luto
think
gets the opportunity.
that's a great point you raised there. I think it ties in well to what Bad Panda just said now on the very last comment there. Stick with Luther, rather rest KG for Pakistan and Australia. We need to build some bowling depth. So play Luther again. I think that's a valid point there.
Very valid point.
The valid point. I mean, it's not, I think what's been positive about this is that we actually won a test without KG Rabada. And that's a big thing. I think we're very quick to look at the batsmen. What have the batsmen done? Sure, the batsmen did the job. Great stuff. Absolutely. They won us the test match. But I think we need to take a step back and say, what do the bowlers do for us? And I can say happily that they stepped up to the plate. They literally did.
Vian and Luto. The way they bowled together in tandem was also... They were. I was very impressed with two 22-year-olds playing the way they did. I was very, very impressed with them. Tex, I can see you asking about Michael Pretorius. He was sent home after he picked up an injury, so he won't get an opportunity. It's unfortunate. I did initially think that Michael Pretorius would be the next in line because he was called up to the bio bubble before Luto Sapamla. So that was quite an interesting one, but I don't know how much transformation had to do with that. But I also think that they were looking for someone that was more controlled. And that's why I also think that they went with Luto, because Luto shown in the 4-day competition that he can be very controlled with his lines and lengths. Yes, in his opening spell, he was all over the show, but look how amazingly he brought it back. I mean, cleaning up the tail, you can say, yes, it's just cleaning up the tail. But South Africa has had a problem in the past with cleaning up the tail. A lot of games we've struggled to take the tail out. So for him to do it so quickly and easily was very, very impressive. I really was impressed with the way he bowled, and Vian Mulder as well.
We made Dom Best look like Virat Kohli a couple times there. I mean, the guy was middling the ball against KG at one point. So, and I'm glad we finally figured that out. But long may this continue. I'm no fool as well. I've seen us. I recall us winning last year in Centurion against England and everyone again. Finally, things are working out. Things are looking lovely, and then suddenly we get destroyed by the opposition. So I think caution will be on our side. I don't think we're going to make careless decisions. The South Africans, at least, aren't going to make careless decisions with regard to selection. There's going to be very sound judgment there, and I think that's the one thing I would have to agree again with Mark. It seems to be that the selectors actually took quite some time to come up with this team, and they used reasonable sort of judgment procedures to help them with this. So far, so good. Long may this continue. I want to see us win with a clean sweep, but this could easily be a banana peel as well if we don't look out.
Yeah, if we don't. So we've got another super chat over here from Jaskoli. Thank you for supporting us, Jaskoli. Do you think batting Quinny at 5, wicket keeping and captaining would affect his approach and consistency? You see, now this is something that I really want to talk about. That's actually an excellent question. So thank you for the super chat, Jaskoli. Look here, when people say that him moving up to 5 is an issue because he was batting 7 or 6 majority of the time, I look at it like this. Majority of the time, South Africa had collapses. So the only time you will talk about, oh, he's batting too low or he's batting too high, is because of the period between innings change and him facing, because obviously standing behind the stumps can be quite tiring, as well as how new the ball is, how old the ball is. And that has to do with the amount of overs that has been bowled. But if Quinton de Kock has been coming in when we've had top 3 collapses, every single time we've had collapses in the order, and then Quinton has come in, scored 100, or he's basically batting like a number 3 already. because we're losing our batsman so early that he's basically coming in at a time when the ball is still new and still performing. So I don't think that moving him up to 5 is going to affect him. I think moving him up will, I think captaincy will affect him before moving him up the order will affect him. Well, me personally, that's what I think. Because right now, in the situation that we are in, 5 is perfect for Quinny. Because if our open batsmen can put on performances like they did now, Rassi performs at 3, Faf comes in at 4 and can perform the way he has been. If we get great partnerships, big partnerships up front, then number 5 is not too, I don't think it's too early for Quinny. With regards to captaincy, we heard what Kwani actually said, and he's the most honest person that you can put in front of the media because he just says what's on his mind. So when they asked him about captaincy, the funny thing that people didn't actually pick up, I don't think a lot of people picked up the humor, but I did, when he said, and this is what makes Kwani such an amazing cricketer. He said, no, captaining in test cricket is actually easier than in limited overs. So when he said that, I was like, wow, Cody, you have some proper confidence on you. And like for him to say something like that, he's like, yeah, because it's longer time. So it's quick. You don't have to think so quickly on your feet. I was like, wow, that means maybe this captaincy thing is for him. He did mention, though, that it is a stopgap captaincy. And he's okay. I think he's okay with someone taking over from him.
He's happy to pass it over. I think.
Yeah.
You know, I know. Impo also mentioned that the selection panel and management sort of were kicking the can down the road when they were coming up with the Test captaincy and decided to give it to Quinny. But in essence, it was the most sensible thing you could do because there's all these possibilities on the board, right? Is it, can we give it to Dean? Can we give it to Kev Sharp? Can we give? But there was always that. But he's not 100% there. He's not our guy right now. He could be our guy in the future. And I know a lot of people wanted the CSA rather to draw a line and say this is our guy for the next 5 to 10 years. Take it or leave it, kind of thing. But I have to applaud them on sound judgment once again because Quinny is a reliable captain. He might not he's not the most vocal, but I think it comes down to the relationship he has with his teammates as well. Absolutely vital.
Yeah, just Collie saying again, I think Quinny is okay with not being captain for very long because he doesn't want to lose the gloves. I think he's happy to give the gloves over though in limited overs cricket. It seemed like that.
You wanted to give the gloves away.
Yeah, he seemed okay with it. I don't think he's in that situation where he's like. I don't think he minds in limited overs if it's going to give another guy opportunity. I think in Test cricket, I think he likes it because he gets his eye in, obviously behind the stumps for long hours at a time. He gets to work out the pitch. I think captaincy might actually work out his batting. I don't think we should look at this particular innings that he had as something to write home about because why I say that is because he went out to a good ball. It was a good top spinner that he just misled. It was a good ball and he went out. And I don't think it was just because of him, because he looked really good. So I think the Wanderers is going to be Quinny's time to make the headlines in that particular game.
That's the kind of delivery that would make even Ravi Ashwin salivate. Really, it was any spinner would dream to pitch the ball. We did a pitch it between middle and leg, and it just deviated significantly. Especially to a batsman of the stature that is Quinton de Kock. Incredible delivery. He couldn't have asked for better.
Yeah, and especially because of that pitch, it wasn't turning much. So for him to get a top spinner like that and move, it was an amazing delivery from him. And a lot of people giving him stick, but he took the most wickets for Sri Lanka, and he was a spinner. So it's a crazy situation that people were talking about that. I mean, Keshav couldn't find a breakthrough. He was struggling to find breakthroughs on that pitch, and Keshav is a world-class spinner. Possibly one of the best in the world at the moment.
He's one of the best.
Yeah. So I see a comment over here from Bad Panda. How many spinners do you think will take Pakistan for the test, and who would you take? So I think that they'll take George Linder definitely, and I think they will obviously take Keshav Maharaj. The third spinner is where I come in, and where I'm worried about. Are they gonna maybe look at part-time spinner like Aiden to part-time spin? I don't think so. Or maybe they will. It depends
Can I throw a
on.
spanner into the works? Can I throw one?
You can.
All right, so George, I agree 100%. We need to get our friends from the Fantasy Premier League in the cricket team as well. Now, jokes aside, George is one of the
George is
best in the
smashing us
country.
at the moment in fantasy league, by the way.
I know George is smashing runs and he's smashing points on FPL. So the man is doing brilliantly this year. He's having
Yeah.
a great 2020. But the spanner I'm talking about is actually Sean von Berg.
Wow.
Sean von Berg, and I'm not saying that because of what I've seen. I'm saying that what other cricketers in the country have said. I recall Aiden saying something about Sean van Berg being one of the best in the country. Rena van Tonder has mentioned it. In fact, in a training session, he said that he any day of the week he would prefer to face Sean van Berg, largely because he's one of the most challenging spinners in the country. And he's not saying it because it's his teammate, but in fact, he said it's very fortuitous it's his teammate of his and not an opposition member. So Sean van Berg is a guy that's definitely top of mind, and I'm sure he'll be a recommendation for most of the Proteas at the moment as well.
Mm-hmm. So, guys, I think that's all we have for you today. Thanks a lot for all the comments, guys. A lot of comments come into the comment section. So, if you can do like our guys like Ravi, Zubair, and just Cody did for us today, and you can have a super chat $sign in the bottom and corner to make sure that we read out your comment. We have to read out your comment if you do a super chat. So that is our obligation to you guys. We have
Keep
to
the
read out
lights
your
on.
comment.
We need to keep the lights on, guys. We need to keep the lights on. Come.
Yeah. So as Ravi says, for us to keep on going with this, we're gonna need you guys support this company. Obviously, Cricket Fanatics Magazine is 100% bootstrapped. We are working on a Patreon page at the moment for you guys can obviously contribute with Patreon and help us produce more content and get exclusive content as well down the line for you guys alone, for Patreons only. So that's an awesome opportunity that we're gonna be releasing and launching very soon. But to everybody out there, thanks a lot for tuning in. Thanks a lot for the super chats, guys. As I said again, don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and click that notification bell for all future videos. Subscribe to the magazine. It's for free. The link is on the screen and in the description. If you want to get updates, go to cricketfanaticsmag.com. We have a Sri Lanka series tab where you can just click on and you can get updates on everything in the Sri Lanka series. If you guys have a business and you're looking to make sales online, just go to a free tutorial on our channel. Even if your business is offline, this will help you out. So if you want to convert from an offline business to an online business, or you want to keep your business offline and just use online means to help you get more sales, we have a free tutorial and we'll help you step by step on how to do that. Thanks to everybody for watching. We'll see you guys very soon. Thanks, Ravi, for coming on too. Take care.